Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening to you. This is Tiger T with Tiger T's podcast. We're coming to you live. It is 7 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. On tonight, I just want to talk real briefly about a subject that is very important. This subject is centered around life insurance. We all know that it's very important for us to have some form of life insurance, right? There's a lot of people that are dying without life insurance. And I have preached this a long time and talked about life insurance a long time, right? I have talked about the whole life policy. I have talked about the term life policy. And I have talked about IUL, right? An IUL policy. And tonight we're going to go and talk about IUL. What is IUL, right? What is IUL? IUL is a universal life insurance policy, right? It is a universal life insurance policy, okay? And so what it does, it is a permanent life insurance policy that provides you permanent coverage, right? And not only that, but it promotes cash value. It promotes cash value. And one of the most important things about an IUL is that it is linked up with the S&P 500 on your New York or NASDAQ market, right? And so it offers good protection, even if if the downside protection comes to be 0%. It means that the cash value won't drop due to the market losses. So that's a good thing to remember. So if a market crash, right, and if we're in a recession and the market goes down and loses its volatility, right, your IUL, your Index Universal Life Insurance, will still keep its same value, right? It doesn't drop due to the market losses, right? It still stays active and it still grows. And it has a tax advantage growth, right? And it has flexibility for long-term coverage, right? So that's what an IUL is. I always tell people when I talk to people through everyday walks of life, I said, listen, please get you an IUL. And they said, what is an IUL? I said, it is a permanent life insurance policy called Index Universal Life Insurance, and it helps promotes and build wealth, not just for your generation, but the generation to come behind you, right? So in other words, if I have this Index Universal Life Insurance policy, and I'm going to get a 7 to 10% return of investment ROI on top of my money, right? And it's going to accumulate what they call compound interest. And again, if the S&P 500 or the market loses its volatility, guess what? My money is still safe. So yes, I want to be the first to report to you that I do have an IUL, right? And I have seen how the money has substantially increased with an IUL policy, right? And so it is a good thing. Now, the only thing that I saw, according to my research, is that if you don't take the cash value out when your beneficiary passed, or whoever the beneficiary is, and they're trying to get the cash value from that policy after their loved one has passed, they can't do it. So again, as I said on the last episode, when I was talking about regular whole life insurance, is that if you want to get that cash value out of that policy, Once it has built up into a certain amount, that's fine if you want to do that. But it is very important to let it grow as long as you can, because that way you'll build up more revenue. You have more income, sustainable income uh, for future generations. Hey, somebody say, hey, Tiger T. Hello, Renee. Renee. And so I want to say to you out there tonight briefly, think about your finances, right? Think about your future. Think about your children. Think about your grandchildren, right? So there's a lot of tools at our disposal that we didn't know anything about in previous years. But now the scales have fallen off of our eyes, and we have become more wiser. We have become more wiser in this world that we live in. Okay. So it is all to obtain education and to be wise in this world that we live in. Always try to learn uh, different things when it comes to your finances. That's why I always tell people that financial literacy is very important. Learning about money, learning about how money grows, right? And how to make that money grow for your family and for the generation to come. Okay. So that's what this podcast basically is all about, is to inform you and educate you on things that really matter when it comes down to it. I want to do a segment on how to prepare taxes. That probably be somewhere down the line. And I want to do a step by step, so you all can have some type of idea, or I can give you some rules and some regulations and some policies on things that you can claim, things you can't claim, all your credits and deductions, how to maximize your income tax and to get your tax liability to 0%. Hopefully, I get a chance to do that one of these days. But nevertheless, this episode is about an IUL. So I just came on tonight to give you a brief analogy about what an IUL policy is. Again, it's cash value. You get substantial amount of growth. Now, you can put something in every month. That's totally up to you. And I advise you to do that. And if you do that, you'll see how your money grows. Okay. So please, if you don't have that type of policy, an IUL, right, get you an IUL. If you don't have a Roth IRA, I know we're not talking about Roth IRA, get you a Roth IRA. Make sure you obtain some type of insurance for yourself or your family, because that's very important, right? Very important. Again, we have a lot of people that are dying without life insurance. They're down without life insurance, and they're depending on their loved ones to bury them. But as I said, it's not, as I said a couple of weeks ago, maybe on my last episode, it is not your loved one responsibility to bury you, right? If you have a source of income coming in, they have term life insurance that's very affordable that you can obtain. So just remember that it's very important to have life insurance. And again, the IUL life insurance is something that good to have, right? It's just like insurance on steroids. What I mean by that, because you get a death benefit, number one, it grows cash value, right? Number two, and number three, you get compound interest. So you got three things into one, right? And so you can retrieve that cash value while you yet live. So that's important thing about things about the IUL, right? And just remember, if you have like an Roth IRA or some type of 401k during this tax season, you receive a credit for having that. Now, if you withdraw that, you're going to get penalized during this. If I withdrew it from it last year on your taxes this year, when you file your taxes, you're going to get penalized for that, right? So never try not to, if possible, go into your 401k or TSP or any type of retirement element that you may have already, right? Because that is your safety net, your safe haven. Once you become later on down in your years, like in your 60, 62, 65, 67, if you want to retrieve that at that time, you can do that. So that's basically what I want to come on here tonight and let you know that, hey, if you don't have an IUL, please get you one. I can tell you from experience, that thing is smoking, right? It's smoking. So, hey, listen. And the good thing about it, I'm going to tell you something over the course of 2 years, 3 years. Even if you don't put anything in it but make just a monthly payment, your IUL is going to grow. And you're going to be like, wow, I didn't expect that. Now, just imagine if you put money, put in type of capital inside your IUL, you're going to really see substantial growth, right? So please, I say again, please look into an IUL. And I want to share with you some of the things real quickly about an IUL. As I said earlier, it accumulates savings based on index performance, right? It's a tax-deferred growth with potential for tax-free loans and withdrawal. So what that means is I can withdraw the income of the cash value that it has accumulated inside the policy, right? Tax-free, right? In other words, it's my own bank account. I don't have to go to the bank and try to borrow money. When I have an IUL that I'm putting in every month, right, I can withdraw from that. And I don't have to worry about paying interest if I were to go to the bank and get a loan. If you go to the bank and get a loan for like $100,000, they're going to charge you interest over the period of time, right? So you may end up paying $150,000 off of the $100,000 that you borrowed. The bank makes $50,000 off of you alone, right? And so one thing about some of the key benefits and features of the IUL, it's a long-term strategy, and you can use it to supplement retirement income or wealth transfer, right? So once you worked on a job, or if you have enough quarters in and you can receive your retirement, right, you can supplement your retirement income with this IUL. And that's why I always tell people, some of my family members, get you an IUL, and they're not even moving. They're not budging. I've been preaching this for a while now, since I received mine, since I initiated my IUL. But for some reason, no one wants to listen to Tiger T. But Tiger T can tell you from experience, an IUL grows. You can touch it if you want to, but I advise you not. An IUL grows, right? And so one of the things I'm reading here is that it provides a death benefit for a lifetime, right? It's permanent life insurance, which is whole life insurance, right? It provides a death benefit for a lifetime. You can use it as an income mechanism, right? So those are some of the key things that you need to know. The top 10, I want to go to the top 10 IUL insurance companies for this year that is known for their strong cash value growth. Is Alliance, ALLIANZ, Pacific Life, Nationwide, Penn Mutual, and Lincoln Financial, right? All of these companies, right? If you don't have an IUL, you can go to these companies tonight and sign up for you an IUL, right? So again, Allianz, 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 Pacific Life, right? Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Of course they are. They have a great IUL policy, right? And ask me how I know. Penn Mutual, once again, Penn Mutual and Lincoln Financial are the top contenders for an IUL life insurance, right? And so you also have Transamerica, you have Mutual of Omaha, and you have John Hancock is what I'm reading. So please again, go get you an IUL. If you're young, starting out in life, and don't know what direction to go in, I can tell you, obtain you an IUL. These are the things that I recommend. Obtain you an IUL. Obtain you a Roth IRA, right? Because those two things right there will create cash value, right? And you can borrow from your own self. And you don't have to run to the bank. So the bank can make a lot of money off of you, right? You don't have to do that. So we have to wise our game up. We have to be smart. We have to be very deliberate in what we're doing. We have to learn how to understand how finances work, right? I'm learning every day. I'm not a master of anything, right? But I read a lot, I research a lot, and I understand things that I didn't understand from reading and from researching that I didn't understand years ago. So that is why I am on this platform. I'm here to share my knowledge and my experience so you won't have to go through the same things that I went through trying to figure out things, how this worked, how that worked. Well, I'm letting you know now, very simple and plain. Obtain you an IUL. Do your own research. That's fine. But I can tell you from experience, mine is working. Mine is working. And I've been had it for a while. And I can tell you my IUL is working. It's smiling back at me, right? But I'm wise enough to know not to interfere with that, right? You know, it's called discipline, right? But there will come a day and time where I will knock on the door with my IUL. So please obtain an IUL. If you want to know more about an IUL, please contact me on my YouTube channel, right? And I would do the best I can to help you. But other than that, you can do your research on your own as well. But what I would like to do in one of my other segments, hopefully I have my whiteboard so I can break it down how an IUL works. Like, so I can show you example on the board, like from the time you receive the IUL and how the IUL obtains a death benefit as well as a living benefit and creates cash value and obtain compound interest. So there's a lot of things that I would like to share with you so that you can see it on the whiteboard and you probably understand it more. Okay. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tiger T with Tiger T's podcast. We're talking about IUL, Index Universal Life Insurance. Thank you for listening. I will see you on the other side. Good night.